The wreckage had been smoking for 3 hours when Marcus finally reached it. The crash site carved an ugly scar across the Montana plains, scorched earth and twisted metal spreading out like a wound. Most folks from town had taken one look at the burning debris and decided it was government business, something best left alone. But Marcus Chen wasn't most folks. He was a mechanic, and more importantly, he was the kind of fool who couldn't walk past something broken without trying to fix it. He approached cautiously, fire extinguisher in one hand, toolkit in the other. The ship, and it was definitely a ship, nothing from Earth looked like that, was roughly the size of a school bus, its hull covered in scales that shimmered even through the soot and damage. As he got closer, he heard it, a low, pained sound that was distinctly not mechanical. "Hello?" Marcus called out. "Anyone alive in there?" The sound stopped. Then, with a groan of protesting metal, part of the hull peeled back like a flower opening. What emerged made Marcus drop his fire extinguisher. She was massive, easily 12 feet tall, with scales that shifted between deep crimson and gold. Her eyes were vertical slits of molten amber, and when she moved, it was with a grace that belied her injured state. Wings, torn and bleeding a viscous silver fluid, hung uselessly at her sides. She was unmistakably draconic and unmistakably in trouble. "Human," she said, her voice resonating in his chest. "You should flee. This vessel is unstable." Marcus bent down, picked up his fire extinguisher, and shrugged. "So's my truck, but I still drive it." "You need help." The dragon stared at him with an expression he couldn't quite read. "You are not afraid?" "Terrified," Marcus admitted. "But you're hurt, and I'm guessing that ship of yours isn't going to fly without repairs." "I'm a mechanic. Let me help." What followed was the strangest 6 hours of Marcus's life. The dragon, who introduced herself as Superintendent Velcora of the Galactic Integration Committee, had crashed while conducting what she called a final assessment of Earth. Her ship's quantum drive had fractured during atmospheric entry, and without repairs, she would be stranded. Marcus worked methodically, following Velcora's instructions as he crawled through alien machinery that defied most of his understanding of physics. When she explained something in technical jargon he couldn't follow, he translated it into terms he knew: combustion, pressure, energy transfer. When he didn't have the right tool, he improvised. A socket wrench became a quantum calibrator. Duct tape, which made Velcora's eyes widen in something like horror and respect, temporarily sealed a plasma conduit. "Your species uses adhesive fabric for starship repair?" she asked, incredulous. "We use it for everything," Marcus said, grinning despite the exhaustion. "Fixed my ex-wife's wedding dress with it once. Held together better than the marriage." Velcora made a sound that might have been a laugh. As they worked, they talked. Marcus learned that Velcora was part of a committee that decided which species were ready to join the galactic community. Earth was being evaluated. He told her about his shop, about the struggling economy in his small town, about how he'd learned mechanics from his grandfather. "Why help me?" Velcora asked at one point. "You know nothing of me. I could be dangerous." Marcus paused, wrench in hand. "You're hurt and alone? That's all I need to know. Besides, dangerous or not, leaving someone to die when you can help. That's not who I want to be." When the sun began to set, the ship hummed back to life. Velcora's wounds had partially healed. Apparently her species had remarkable regeneration, and she stood at full height, magnificent and terrifying. "You have saved my life, Marcus Chen," she said formally. "I am in your debt." Marcus waved it off. "Just don't crash in anyone's field next time. Mrs. Henderson will be mad enough about the burnt patches." Velcora's expression shifted to something serious. "You should know the truth. I did not crash by accident. My ship was sabotaged by me." Marcus blinked. "What?" "I have been studying your species for 3 cycles. The committee has heard only negative reports: your wars, your pollution, your tribalism. They were prepared to quarantine Earth indefinitely. I disagreed with this assessment. So I arranged a test, a real test not observed from orbit. You crashed on purpose to see what would happen," Marcus said slowly. "Yes. To see if a human, finding an alien in distress, would help or harm, would exploit or show compassion." She lowered her head, bringing her massive eyes level with his. "You had every reason to fear me, to call your authorities, to leave me to die. Instead, you spent your day saving a stranger who could offer you nothing in return." Marcus felt his face grow hot. It was the right thing to do." Precisely, Velcora said. That is what I needed to know. Not your species' grand achievements or terrible failures, but this. What does an ordinary human do when no one is watching? She touched something on her forearm, and a holographic display appeared. I am transmitting my final report now. I am recommending Earth for immediate integration, not because humans are perfect, but because they possess something rare in the galaxy. The instinct to help, even at personal cost. Wait, Marcus said. You're deciding Earth's fate based on me? Based on what you represent. Compassion, ingenuity, the ability to see a person in need rather than a monster to fear. Her eyes glowed warmly. The galaxy has enough warriors and conquerors. We need more mechanics who carry duct tape and kindness. The ship began to lift off, its systems fully restored. Velcora's voice carried down to him. We will meet again, Marcus Chen. The committee will wish to thank you personally, and perhaps you can teach us this duct tape technique. As the ship disappeared into the stars, Marcus stood in the burnt field, covered in alien grease and human sweat, and laughed. He'd just fixed a Dragon spaceship and apparently earned humanity a seat at the galactic table. Wait until he told the folks at the diner. They'd never believe him. But as he walked back to his truck, he found a small metallic scale on his sleeve, crimson and gold and shimmering with impossible light. Proof that sometimes the best thing a person could do was simply choose to help, no matter who or what needed it.